Hey man, how you doing? Tyrone Campbell here, and I am excited to talk about fatherhood. Hopefully this video is going to help you. This is just my perspective on fatherhood. I am 52 years old. I am from New York, Bronx, New York, and I will just be honest and just put it out there. I have two sets of kids. Two sets. My first set of kids is composed of my wife's child, who's 29, and my child, who is 20. Shoot, he's 27. Yeah, he's 27. Yes, he's 27. So I have a 29 and a 27-year-old. Two boys back up north, one in Philadelphia, one in New Jersey, and they are both productive members of society. And that's what you want when you have children. You want them to be productive members of society. Then I have a second set of kids who are 8 and 6. Now, the weird thing, the coincidence is that the older kids are born in February and October, and the younger kids are born in February and October. So, thank God is playing a joke on me, but it's all good. So, anyhow, let's take a look at some of these questions that you wanted me to ask. Hopefully, I gave enough information about who I am. All right. So, the first thing I want to do is introduce myself. What's happening, everybody? Tyrone Campbell. I am a very good friend of Wesley, my main man, Wesley. And we go back to our vertical church, and I watched Wesley, accomplish something that I didn't. I don't have a degree, but I'm glad that I can see my brothers, especially my young brothers, pursuing education. That's awesome. Now, just because I don't have a degree don't mean I ain't smart. I'm extremely intelligent. I have a super high IQ. I'm a self-taught learner. So all of that will make sense as I go on. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I have family here in Georgia. Grew up knowing I had family in Georgia. So in my family tree on my father's side is 2,700 aunts, uncles, cousins. And, you take how many generations down, but 2,700. So I did the family tree. It is big. But that being said, I lost my father when I was 1 year old. So I didn't grow up with a biological father, nor did I grow up with a stepfather. The only males that I had in my life was my grandfather on my mother's side. I did have my uncle, and probably, I kind of look at my older brother. He's 10 years older than me, but those guys, and I would also say that a male influence in my life is my brother-in-law, which we refer to my brother-in-love, who is, man, he's about, man, I don't have the exact number, but he's about at least 20 years older than me. So that is kind of the makeup of who I was growing up. Growing up in the Bronx was interesting. Being raised by a single mom, but not in a situation where your dad done left you and you don't feel that love or whatever. Hey, my dad died. So I didn't have the same experience that some people have where they know like their dad is across the street or down the block with his new girlfriend. I didn't have that. So I grew up with different influences. So my grandfather is very handy. I mean, this is a person who was um, descendants of slaves. I think they were born in like 1908, 1910. They were born around that time. And my grandfather, I don't think he got past the sixth grade, but he was able to provide for his family, buy a house, get car. I mean, this dude knew everything. Okay, very handy. He can build a house if he felt like it. And they came from down south, so they grew up in Virginia and then migrated up to New York. So he was always somebody that I was fascinated with when I was younger, looking at him fix things and do things. So that was pretty exciting to see him. And then he would teach me, hey, let me show you how to change a lock. Let me show you how to put tile on a shower or in grout and things like that. Let me show you how to use a saw and a hammer correctly, screwdrivers, and always have your tools so that you can fix stuff. So I learned how to fix things from my grandfather. Then my uncle, so I had an uncle that, so this is weird. So I had an uncle that was an artist. So it's like there's a lot of arts, music and arts in my family growing up. So I had an uncle that was an artist, and I was great at art because my mom was great at art. My mother is a milliner by trade, a hat maker. And so she would have to sketch out and draw. So I was naturally gifted at sketching out and drawing, but I was drawn to musical instruments. So I learned how to play saxophone, join a band in junior high school, learned how to play saxophone. And then I find out that my uncle used to play saxophone and he was a painter. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. I found out my grandfather's brother played guitar and all of this stuff. I'm like, okay, that's cool too. We got actors in the family. When I say actors, I mean actors that got movies out in the that had movies in the theaters and stuff like that, like real actors and entertainers. So that's something that was deep in my family, and I continue to do that when I was younger. But I grew up latchkey. If you don't know what that means, it means while your mom's at work, you come home with your key and open the door and do your homework, and you lock the door and you stay in there and you don't cause any trouble. So I didn't do that. I mean, well, I didn't cause any trouble. I was a pretty good kid. I did have a little smart mouth, and I still have a smart mouth. Not ashamed of it, but growing up as a child, I did not let negative influences dictate my life or dictate my path. Um, I joined a band when I was in high school, and this was very important because in order to join the band, and this was a family band, so the father used to play with like James Brown and like George Benson, and the father used to gig as a professional musician, and he taught all of the kids. So it was two boys, two girls, and they were a band, and I was the bass player. I came in as a bass player at about 15 years old, and they taught me a lot, but that was my surrogate family. Became my second family. So their dad became my dad. And I love him the same way. Then he eventually passed away, but we loved him like he was my father, and he looked out for us like he was a father. But what that did was modeled a way for me to see how a dad is supposed to be with their children. You invest in your children. You pray that they're going to be productive members of society, and you're good. At that point, you can relax and say, hey man, these kids did a great job. So we can fast forward to college. I went to college, and when I kind of say that I was smart. I was very smart, but I had zero study skills. I didn't know how to study. I knew how to pass a test though. So it was just like common sense, you know. I would be in science classes and I excelled at math. So I was very bright, but because I did not have any structure or guidance when it came to studying or knowing what I should be using as a goal, I didn't have that mentorship or that leadership in my life. I wind up getting kicked out of college after the first year because I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not reading no, 10 chapters. Y'all know how it is, college students. Y'all got to do all this reading and read, and that's not my study style. My learning style is not reading. My learning style is visual and kinesthetic. So I learned this later on. So hands-on. I'm great with hands-on. Which after I getting kicked out of school, so now here come mom. All right, you got to go and get you a job. Here's your bill. So she literally handed me some bills, like these are your bills, and you're not going to sit in my house and do nothing. So this kind of gets me to be independent. I got a job. I'm working. And then I kind of so I'm like 19, 20, and my grandfather's house. So this is the cool part. My grandfather house there was a two-family house, and so we're going back to 1988, 89. And there's the apartment upstairs. My brother lived there, and then I moved in. Then my brother got married and left, so I had the apartment, and the rent at that time was $350. So I was able to afford that rent. Working at, I think I had a job for $6 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Working at like Tower Records, so I was able to afford that rent. So I was, at 19, I was on my own, living in this apartment and having a good old time. No guidance, no mentors, no nothing. Just a couple of interactions with my grandfather, but I mean, it was bachelor pad. It was women and no drugs. I don't do drugs. Not that I'm cheap. I'm not spending my money on no drugs to get high. That's stupid. But it was just party, 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 work, party, work, party. No guidance, no mentor, no one to teach me about being a man and understanding what my role would be in the future when it comes to family and fatherhood and even being a husband and things like that, or relationship. Let's just use that word, relationship. No clue. I'm thinking the world revolves around me because I'm the bomb, and if you don't like it, tough cookies. Go about your own way. So that was me. Then about 20, at age 25, after just doing me, here comes my son, Tori. And I'm like, well, I'm 25 years old. Hey, I'm that's a good age to have a kid. No, it's not. It's not about age. It's about being prepared and understanding the responsibility that you are going to have on a life for the rest of your life and theirs. So, one of the questions that you have here was, did my father teach me anything growing up? My biological, of course not, because he passed away. And all of the men that were in my life did not teach me anything as far as relationship is concerned when I was growing up. I didn't learn that. I witnessed a few things, but there was nobody that was like, look, leave these girls alone. This is what you want to focus on. Focus on your money. Focus on your business. Focus on your music. Focus on other. No one was there to say focus on other stuff so that I could be successful, so that I could be in a position to be in a relationship and take care of my family. So I didn't learn that from that age 25. We'll say that's when I kind of start being a sort of an adult, from 25 until 40. Oh, I would say 37. Okay. 37 is around the time that I started to grow up. So I think what one of the things that I did was I started to observe as I got older and the relationship doesn't work out and you become weekend dad and you're paying child support and all of this stuff. I think what was unique was you have an opportunity to either continue doing what you're doing and getting the same result, or you have an opportunity to change. So me being the self learner, learning a whole bunch of skills, I taught myself a lot of high paying, high value skills that allow me to earn a lot of money in the corporate world. And by being in that position to be a earner, you can be a provider. So I learned after I had three relationships. So this is interesting. I had three relationships. The first relationship, the young lady was like, "Well, you don't have anything." I didn't have a house, or you don't have anything. You have a kid, and like your credit or whatever, your credit's messed up, but whatever the deal is. And here comes the second relationship. Same thing. You don't own anything. You have a kid, and like you don't really have a plan to be an adult. I didn't have an adult plan. It was like we can operate now. Well, we can grow together. This is what I thought. No, we could start together and build something. And then here comes the third person. Now, this is three in a row. This is in a matter of, in a span of about 4 years. These are three different women. And it was like they were passing the same notes, telling me about myself. So I'm like, okay, something is wrong. It's not them, it's me. But at that time, I'm blaming them. Y'all suck. I'm gonna go do me. Forget y'all. So this was, I think I was about 37. Then I started to go to church. Up until that time, I was not a avid church goer or following Christ. No, it was doing me. But at that time, I'm like, I need to get rid of these women, or this urge to be with women, and focus on who I need to be in order to be in a relationship. Because I recognized that I am the common denominator that is messing up all of these relationships. So at 37, I totally cut women and dating off. That wasn't on the board. And I start to learn about being a man, being a brother, being accountable, um, joining men's groups, being a leader, um, just understanding what my role is supposed to be, and what a what a woman should expect in their mate, their man, their husband. I had no intentions of dating anybody. My move would have been, I'm going to get married and fulfill what my purpose is. I'm not going to have I'm not going to be in a situation. I'm not going to have enough baby mama. That's out of question. No, zero. Not going to happen. I would rather cut my pee off than have another baby mama. Not that my baby's mama had a lot of drama, but it's not worth it to have this bicycle relationship with your child. Have your children with you, raise them, then do what you got to do after that, if that's what it comes down to. But choose better, everybody. Choose better. Do not let your PP choose for you. That's my fatherly advice. Do not let your PP choose for you, because your PP gonna choose wrong, and you're gonna be stuck mad with somebody that you did not want to have kids with. That's another story. So at 37 is when I started to learn what I needed to do in order to become a man. All right. And the reason why I say a man, because men do men things, boys do boy things. And I'm not saying that video games and swiping left and right on apps is boy games, but men don't need to do that. We have a confidence. We know we can take care of somebody. We're not playing games. We ain't trying to waste anybody's time. So as I look back at this question, what does fatherhood mean to me? Oh no, I'm going back to, did my father teach me anything growing up? Not my biological, but my heavenly father taught me everything. And growing up occurred when I was 37. Pretty unique, because at 37, what I started to do, and you see I can talk a lot, I should shut up and just listen and watched. I listened because I wanted to know what was I doing wrong. And if you just be quiet and listen, you will find out. It will be revealed to you. So I started to see that as a man, you're supposed to be able to, of course, you want to be a provider. You want to pray for the ability to provide. You don't do anything based on your ability. You step out of the way, let God do everything that he has planned for you. If you don't believe in that, then you find your way to get there. But just know your way sucks, because you ain't that bright. Okay. You are not that smart. If you were, you can be a billionaire. You can cure cancer if you were that smart. So always know that there's someone higher than you, and you have plenty of opportunity to be mentored by men, and no one's perfect, but you have an opportunity to be mentored by someone. Be open, listen, take that, ask questions, get the answers. Don't be like, well, I ain't gonna do that. Don't have that kind of attitude, but really listen. And that's what I did. I listened for 3 years. I'm like, okay, I see what I did wrong. I understand what women would want. Not that I'm doing it for women, but if I'm going to get with a woman to marry them, I have to know what their expectation is, or what they should be getting. So I'm not wasting their time or mine. I know how to choose my wife better, or my mate, versus than what I was doing. Okay, what I was doing was, she got fat booty or whatever. Oh, she looked good, or that's not how you choose your mate, your wife, and all of that stuff. That's part of it, but that shouldn't be the only reason. So that's what I did. I grew up at age 37. And from that moment, I've had a much better stress-free life. Got married at 41, and that was 11 years ago when I got married. And so I became a father again in 2013 and 2014. So my kids are 20, my younger kids are 20 months apart. So the second question you have is, what does fatherhood mean to me? So fatherhood, this is going to be unique, because fatherhood doesn't mean that I have kids. Fatherhood means that I can lead and raise any child or be an influence or leader to any child, regardless of where these kids come from, with their biological, adopted, fostered, nieces, nephews, godchildren, the neighbor's kids. Fatherhood just means that I have the ability to influence and to make an impact in a child's life, to raise them and keep them out of trouble. That's what fatherhood means to me. That's what my goal is. I need these kids to stay out of trouble as they grow up. I need to be able to help children make better decisions and not just leave a kid to their own vices, So I'm dealing with an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And so they, here's a quick story. They're playing soccer, and the 8-year-old, he's just jogging around, and the coach is like, full speed, running full speed. He's like, well, I'm saving my energy. I said, no, he said, I'm running half speed. I said, well, I didn't pay $50 for you to run half speed. I need you to step it up, or you don't have to be on this team anymore. So he has to think, no, I want to be on the team. All right, work out like everybody else. That's fatherhood versus I'm just, I pay the money and they can do whatever they want, and I'm just going to sit on the side because I don't want to be involved. No, that's not fatherhood. Fatherhood is also when you don't know anything about the sport, like soccer. I didn't know anything really about soccer. And I'm telling the coach, because all I notice is that all the dads are there, and some of the dads are helping. I'm like, well, if you need me to help, I don't know what to do, but I'll help you. But guess what? All I did was stand there and watch as the coach tells the kids what to do. Then I learned the game. And so now all of the dads are coaches too. Coaches like, look, go to coach, and we get along. We love the team. We love on each other's kids, and it's a cool thing. So that's part of fatherhood. Fatherhood is being a stepdad too. I was a stepdad to an adult. He was already like 18 when we got married. So, it's like I didn't have to do too much, with my oldest, but you get to still speak wisdom and help them make good decisions, and praise them when they're doing good, and kind of correct them when they're like, come on, man, you know better. You know what I'm saying? I'm the ear if you need to talk. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're an adult. I'm going to treat you like an adult. We're going to have this conversation as if I raised you from day one. That's fatherhood too. Another thing that fatherhood is believe it or not, you might have some friends that are single moms. And guess what? If they got boys and they trust you, hey, I'm going camping. You want me to bring a little man with me? Oh man, that'll be nice. Come on. All right, come on, little man, whatever. Fathers with girl, it's different with girls. Women or single moms are way more protective with girls, and they have to be around men. Boys, I can be like, yo, we're going to go shoot hoops. We're going to go play basketball. We're going to go whatever. And they'd be like, oh, take him, get him out of here, because they need help with boys. They need less help with girls. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to take her to get her hair braided. No, you do that. I don't care. Or take her to get her nails done. I don't want to go get your nails done with you. So that's a way to expand on fatherhood. Again, these kids ain't got to be your biological, or even if you never had kids, but you are a great person and you understand how to mentor and to pour into a child's life to keep them out of trouble, then you're doing a great job with fatherhood. So that's pretty awesome. And just remember, gents, it's never too late to be a dad. You see some of these crazy people in Hollywood, they having kids in their 60s, 70s, and I don't know about 80s, but hey, we still fertile. So the last question is, what advice would I give to fathers? I mean, I would say fathers, um, I would say learn about setting goals, learn about like how to discipline. I struggle with having a little bit of patience, and I will challenge this little 8-year-old and 6-year-old. So, not that I'm mean, but I'm like, no, you're not going to get away with certain things with me. I'm going to hold you accountable. And little man holds me accountable. Oh, you remember you said blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, but um, I think a child should see by example of what a man and a woman should be in their lives. They should see, um, let's go to the basics. They should see a man be a gentleman, open the door, close the doors, and stuff like that. They should see the man doing all of the dirty work, unstopping unclogging the toilet, and taking the trash out and stuff like that. They should see, cutting the grass and things like, not saying that these jobs are stereotypical, but they should see mom cooking and stuff like that, because there's certain things that should be expected. We You should see the father hunt and bring home the meal, and the mom prepare. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and those roles could be switched out. There's no gender assignment, but they should see these things happening. And so, as a dad or as a father, I believe it's important for you to be visible in your child or any abandoned child's life, so that they can see that they're loved, that you are rooting for a child to be all that they can be, to reach their potential, to try. I don't need you to succeed. I need you to try and try again when it doesn't work out. Um, you need to hear, or you need to be able to give good advice as a father. You need to be able to say, you know, and I'm gonna pick on Wesley. You didn't have to go to college to get those 2 jobs you have. You could have saved a whole bunch of money and just did that. But I, as your brother, as your uncle, as your surrogate father, want to see you have a greater output in life. I want to see you recognize your earning potential, because there's a goal for everything. What was your goal when you went to college? Your goal was to earn some money. So you wasn't working at no shade McDonald's and Walmart. And if your goal was to work at McDonald's and Walmart, don't go to college. Learn something else. Make beats. Who cares? But as a non-college graduate, what I understand is that being a father costs money, and you have to maximize your potential, your earning. You have to maximize your dollar, the amount of money that you can make, so that you can raise kids. You don't need to raise them in an apartment. Go raise them in a house. Well, I can't afford that. That should never be the words coming out your mouth if you are a father. I can't afford that. Let's get those scales up so that you can afford it. There's nothing stopping any father out here from being like the next one, other than decisions that we are making. So my advice is to fathers is Let's use guided decisions so that we can make better decisions, so that we can increase our worth and our visibility. And also we could change the perspective in the community that, you know, Black men don't want to take care of their kids. And I don't think that that is accurate. You know, maybe the real question is, why are certain Black women having kids with these characters? And let's just call them characters, okay? Because if you came my way, or if I pursued you and showed you a lifestyle where I could open up your door and put you in it and take you somewhere and bring you home safe, you wouldn't be dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray. Yes, I said it. So that is my rant. Let me make sure I got everything. I definitely want to thank you for this opportunity. I know I said a lot, but hopefully this will help you out. And again, I want all the fathers out there to know that I appreciate fathers and dads that are participating in their children's lives. The ones who aren't, just stay out the way. Let somebody else come and help. Because we do not want, we meaning Black folks, we don't want our kids to wind up in the system, in jail, or making bad decisions. I want them to make good decisions and to have a positive life. That's all I got for you, man. I hope y'all enjoy. Peace.